Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about how to make the treadmill suck less. I know I always prefer to run outside, even in the winter when it's really cold. I think most runners do. In a previous video, I talked about how to prepare for cold weather running. So if you are a beginner runner who would like to be running outside but doesn't quite know how to dress or prepare for this type of weather, this winter cold weather, feel free to check out that video. But even though we would love to be running outside all the time, sometimes conditions are in such a way that we just can't run outside. For example, maybe it's dangerously cold where frostbite is a very real concern. Sometimes the sidewalks are too treacherous. Maybe they're very icy or maybe just annoying. Like for example, in the spring when things start to thaw and the sidewalks are just like one long big puddle. Or if there's an air quality alert and being outside is not going to be so nice for your lungs. During times like these, the treadmill can be a really great tool to have in your back pocket. If you have a gym membership, or even better, if you have a treadmill in your house, oh my gosh, lucky you. But the treadmill can be kind of boring. So what can we do to make the treadmill suck a little bit less? My number one tip, it's kind of corny, but respect the treadmill. How do we respect the treadmill? First of all, I would say treat your treadmill like a treadmill. Keep it clear and accessible. Don't turn it into a really expensive clothes drying line. It's not an extra storage shelf for you. Keep it clean, keep it accessible so that you can hop right on it. No obstacles. I would also say respect the treadmill verbally as well. Don't call it the dreadmill. Don't treat it like it's some annoying coworker that you have to get happy hour with, but you'd really rather not. Don't say that you hate the treadmill. Don't say it sucks. Don't say it's boring. You don't have to believe it. Just don't say those thoughts out loud. I'm Midwestern, so I have gotten very good at this. Side tangent, last summer at a kiddie tractor pull, I saw a mom tell her crying child, "Emotions back in the cage."
Hello childhood, meet trauma.
But in all seriousness, I'm not telling you not to feel those feelings. Please feel those feelings, but don't say them out loud. I'm not trying to spout some sort of the secret self-help bullshit or anything. I just believe that language is powerful and we have thousands of thoughts a day, and the ones that we give voice to are the ones that we strengthen. And I just don't think that talking about how much you hate the treadmill and how boring it is going to make running on the treadmill any easier for you. So just be nice to the treadmill. I have for you to make the treadmill suck a little bit less is maybe introduce an interval workout, maybe just once a week. The treadmill is a great place for your interval workouts because you can really easily keep track of your interval speeds and times. This is also going to offer some mental stimulation, some variation, and stave off any mental fatigue. And you can choose whatever intervals you like. I am personally a fan of the pyramid interval. I think pyramid intervals make the time go by really fast. So for this, I would do a conversation-paced run for 10 minutes, and then I would run at a faster, harder pace for 1 minute, conversation-paced 2 minutes, a harder pace for 3 minutes, a conversation pace 4 minutes, a harder pace for 5 minutes, and then I'd work my way back down that pyramid, running at a conversation pace for 4 minutes, a hard pace for 3 minutes, a conversation pace for 2 minutes, and a harder pace for 1 minute, and then I'd finish it off with a 10-minute cool down, just an easy jog, or maybe even a walk if I feel like it. And in place of doing speed intervals, you could switch it up with hills. So instead of running at a harder pace, maybe mess around with the incline setting on your treadmill and run up a hill instead. My third idea is to entertain your eyes and your ears. One of the best things that Tony and I did for our home treadmill experience is we bought an iPad holder. We can watch movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, whatever we want. We could even check our email if we wanted to on the treadmill. In my opinion, watching a movie or a TV show works best for steady miles or easy conversation-paced miles or long runs. That way you can properly become absorbed in whatever the narrative is of the show that you're watching without having to worry about switching up your intervals or anything like that. You could also consider a Kindle maybe and reading a Kindle on the treadmill. I don't know if I would be able to do that. I'm not very good at multitasking that way, but some people can. Some people can read on the treadmill, and good for them. More power to them. I know Tony really likes watching movies on the treadmill. I am more prone to watching YouTube videos that I enjoy. If you don't have access to maybe a TV in front of you or an iPad holder, you could also listen to podcasts or a motivating music playlist. If you do this, I recommend if you're at home putting up some sort of poster or vision board or something in front of you, maybe on the wall in front of you for the treadmill, just to give your eyes something to look at besides a blank wall. I know you probably can't do that if you're at the gym. I mean, I haven't been to a gym in a while, but I assume it's frowned upon to bring your own vision board. Is that still a faux pas? Here are some of my favorite podcasts that I listen to, taking note that none of them are running based. I'm not really a person that likes to listen to running stuff while I'm running. I really like the podcast Maintenance Phase, Bigfoot Collectors Club, Podcast The Ride, and You're Wrong About. I think these are really great podcasts with engaging hosts and interesting topics that can really help distract me on my runs. So maybe if you're looking for a new running podcast, you want to take some of those suggestions, try it out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, you're welcome. Tony actually really enjoys the treadmill. This time of year he calls his treadmill era, meaning winter when it's cold, when the sidewalks are icky. His threshold for whether or not to run outside is much lower than mine, so he is much quicker to go to the treadmill depending on what the conditions are. So I thought we could also talk to him about what are his thoughts and ideas, and maybe he has some tips on how to enjoy running on the treadmill. So let's take it away, Tony.
What I like about the treadmill is that it's right there waiting for me whenever I finally get to running. Usually in the summer and spring and fall, you and I are often running together outside. We usually do that in the morning, and it's kind of like a set thing. Now in the winter, when we're doing treadmills, we can't run together. A lot of times you'll run outside, but I'm not into the cold and the wet, so I'll run on the treadmill. But since it's kind of more on my schedule, I will put it off. But I love that the treadmill is just there when I'm finally like, oh my gosh, I've put it off too long, it's 3 o'clock, I need to hop on the treadmill. And so what I like to do, if I'm at home, I'll just strip down into my undies, put on my sneakers, and get to running. And then that's how I run at home. I don't have to change clothes, I just change out of clothes. And then I hop in the shower when I'm done. I also like leaving work at like 3 o'clock and going down to the gym in my building and running on the treadmill there. It's a nice way to see out the end of the day. I think one way you can hate the treadmill a little less, if you're not keen on it, is find something you like to either listen to or watch. I really enjoy watching movies on the treadmill. It allows me to focus in, forget how much time is passing. You know, one thing about the treadmill is it's really easy to like watch the clock go up, how long you've been running, how many miles you've done, and how many miles you have left. And I think watching a movie really distracts from that. So I'm a big fan of watching movies on the treadmill.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you hated the treadmill before, maybe this will give you some inspiration to hate the treadmill just a little bit less. If you have any tips, any tricks, any thoughts about running on the treadmill, feel free to leave it in the comments below. If you liked this video, maybe give it a thumbs up. Maybe think about liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching. Take care, friends. Bye.
Once I ran 15 miles on a treadmill, which is insane. And it was our one at home, which the incline doesn't work, so it probably wasn't that good for me and my like muscles and overuse injuries. It turned out fine, but I watched like 3 movies on the treadmill, so it was great. Okay, maybe not 3 movies. It was like a movie and a half, actually, but I felt like I did a lot.